we get on the cops. Yeah. You already know what it is. You already know what it is, man. You good? You need a water break already? What's that? You straight?
We here to talk about Big Low. Ain't that what we doing? Not that Big Low. Not Big Low to be in the comments. Big Low. Big Karlo. Carlito. Hold on. What a joint name? I got that bitch somewhere. Hold on.
What you got?
What that say?
Oh, that's the greatest movie of all time right there. Hey, when you be talking about gangster movies and y'all be bringing up Scarface, that let me know y'all ain't really watch. Y'all ain't really about that cinema. Y'all ain't really about that cinema. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, check this out, man. We here to talk about Karlo. We about to get into it. But first off, shout out to Scott Vigner and the Vigner Law Firm. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 4D. Shout out to DraftKings. Shout out to Company Burger. Shout out to John Deere, Sunshine, Standard Mortgage. Shit, man. Your name could be on the list too. All you got to do is just hit us up, man. Hey, check this out. Before we get started.
Again.
I found my room. I found it. Shout out to Lala, man. We back.
We the best chemistry, the best artist, the best producer in the world. I don't think nothing can fade.
Man, the French ain't no joke. I mean, they got people jacking them from everywhere.
For sure. And, you know, we ain't giving our flavor. Let them get it how they live. Do their own thing. Cause we work hard to build this sound. And with the rappers and the flossing and all the balling we talk about, that's our thing. We created that and we're going to run with that. But it's going to...
Say, Chris.
What's that?
Before we get started, I got something I need you to review and tell me like what you think about it.
Okay. Wait. I know when the jig is up.
What's up?
I was responding to a text message and you said that to me. I was paying half attention.
Yeah.
But then when everything started to register, I'm like, it's some bullshit about to be in display here.
What you mean? Like I want to review some footage with you, and you let me know. Like this is a classic. This is a Hall of Fame art. It's a Hall of Fame artist.
All right. Let's see it.
All right, here we go.
Little red Corvette.
Yeah. Shout out to Prince, man. Long live the king, man.
Little red Corvette. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but again, we here to talk about Big Low. First, let me pop my shit a little bit, because look, I was never here to tell anybody that Karlo was this fantastic player. I was never here to tell you he was a starting center, but I was here to say that he brought something, partially because the bar is low. I was here to tell you that he was a part of the kind of players that the Pelicans needed to play. I don't know where Lito just went, but now it's just me and you talking here, you viewer. So look, see my dog back. The athleticism, and we gonna watch some film and so on and so forth. We did a show in the off season about Karlo, which if we were really in our pod and battle, we're gonna be in the off season, we'd have had some clips posted for y'all to pull up here from the off season show that we did. We'll get better at that.
I can.
You know, we actually can do that. So we will pull up some of the film from that show and see what has changed, what's the same. But I think with Karlo, it just comes down to if the light's gonna turn on it. The highlights show one thing, right? He still is undersized. There's still some things from an IQ and some processing perspective, and just what it means to being a role player in the NBA. Some things that got to click for him. For some people, the game never slows down. And it's clear that he's never really going to be a center. If anything, he's a small ball center at best. But the athleticism is there, and he does have some things that he is a basketball player. Some of the passes that he makes, the touch with some of the passes, some of the some of the cuts that I've seen him make, and just the give a fuck in total tells me that there is something there worth developing. Even in some respects, the jumper. I'm hoping that this period since he's been playing to the end of this season is a real audition for him to have a real opportunity to get minutes next season. Like treat it as you treated in some respects the Christian Wood situation when Christian Wood was in New Orleans. He made the best of it in a different way than say Karlo did, but the following season he ended up going elsewhere. I'm not here to tell you that Christian Wood was a spectacular player, but he got paid multiple times, and he was able to, provide a life, start on some teams, and play some meaningful minutes for some good basketball programs, even if, he ended up fucking some things up. If you can make Karlo even a rotational player, I think you win here. And the film that we about to watch can show that there's some flashes there and there's something there. Can the Pelicans build the things around it? Can they overlook and get through some of his flaws and really, I guess, invest in some of his athleticism, the dribbling gifts, the creating gifts, the shooting gifts that may be, maybe there's some building blocks to be had there.
You said a whole lot, and that shit was fly. But
I said too much.
No. I just had the files.
Oh, yeah.
Athleticism.
You asked me, what do I see when I see Karlo play? And I said athleticism.
And to be honest, I'm glad you said that because I wanted to, before we watch, I got some summer league film, but I wanted to take it back to the beginning of how I arrived at that point in 2022. Watching his draft workouts. I think that's how we got here. That's how Karlo got to this spot. And I think we got a DeJounte Murray muse in a building, man. Shout out to you.
Yeah, it was a live show, huh?
This is a live show, and we predicted the future because DeJounte Murray Muse was in the show, and DeJounte Murray ended up being on the team. Shout out to us, man, just predicting the future. But anyways, this show is
the live finishing ability.
This show is filled with
to get up and down. Don't worry about it.
This show is filled with highlights of Karlo from back in his days overseas, and I think the most important part, if we just gonna be honest, calling a spade, I said that Karlo stunk. I'm just being transparent. From what I saw when I was in Summer League, watching him in Vegas, the first year, he stunk. He wasn't any better than me in the second year in Summer League. However, I'm here to say that I think with the proper talent around him and just the developmental piece, hopefully there is a player there that you wanted to be on the Pelicans for some time now. The Pelicans has been the stretch five has been on the Christmas list for them to feel like 20 years, and that's something we just haven't had. But yeah.
No, well, I mean, Lito, he has to master the small things, like he can't. Jackson Hayes showed a lot in regards to how much athleticism can only take you so far when it comes to playing in this league. And if you look at him now, mentally, things have changed enough with him, and he does have a supporting cast around him. Where even he still has his flaws. He still isn't a dude that's gonna grab a bunch of rebounds. He still has some of the same flaws that he has here in New Orleans. He's gotten better. He's serviceable. And for Karlo just got to be serviceable, and then he has to start there and work up from there. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm hoping that his time with Daniel Tice, his time with maybe some of the developmental guys, working with Kelly Olynyk now and guys of that ilk can help him do some of the things that they've worked on, right? That they were able to kind of master of sorts. Look, the shooting is fine if it works. The athleticism is great. The ability to run the floor is awesome. But if the game doesn't slow down for him, if he isn't able to stay in front of his man, if he isn't able to stay out of foul trouble, if he's a turnover machine, it isn't going to matter. If his computer mentally isn't keeping up with what's actually moving on the floor, he's a step too late on certain passes, and he hasn't fully adapted to NBA game speed, then none of it matters. But this is why these reps are very important, whether he starts or whether he finishes, or I'm sorry, whether he starts or whether he comes off the bench in this period, because you have to find a way to make the best of that athleticism and the ability to shoot the basketball, which I think can help this team, Lito. I mean, you said it best. Not only have they been looking for even a stretch 5 option, they've been looking for somebody that can also be athletic, but not just be, they couldn't figure out with Jackson Hayes whether he was a power forward or he was going to work at center with the Pelicans. What is Karlo? Is Karlo a power forward, or is he going to be strictly a small ball 5? And what exactly does that look like? We watched Larry Nance have some time of being able to succeed in stretches with athleticism, and in some respects being able to stretch the floor every now and then. Is Karlo a different version or a better version of that at some point? But it's all going to start with what mentally, like these reps now, game after game after game, putting each game into the other. If he can find a way to get that element of it and really work on the offseason of the little things, setting screens and all those different things, I think that's where it starts for him. It's going to benefit the team because, bro, he's cheap. He's cheap. He doesn't cost you money, and he's someone that you drafted that's been in your program for a few years now.
So listen, you said something, and I kind of want to. You said they didn't know what to make of Jackson Hayes. Is he a 4? Is he a 5? I feel like with Karlo, I don't. Where basketball is headed, I don't really care about the labeling of the position. I feel like I would prefer them just develop him as a basketball player. I don't want to see him do crazy things. Like, I'm not looking for him to create for himself off the dribble. I don't want him to be a guy you throw it into a post and you think he gonna give you. I don't want any of that. I want him drop, step, turn, dunk, run the floor, help on the weak side, and just give serviceable basketball from a big standpoint, whether that be the 4 or 5. I think the Pelicans should approach these guys like you do 5-star athletes on NCAA.
Okay.
I'm dead ass. Like whatever he gets cultivated as, he just gets cultivated as. I might draft him as a 5-star. He might be a running back. The motherfucker might turn into a safety. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
What
like
his strengths? What are his strengths? Knocking down. You got to find the best balance, Lito, between what your team needs and what he's good at. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can't force it in either direction. You can't accept that he's just good at this and just leave it there if it doesn't fit what your team needs. But you can't also try to push him towards being something that he's not because you can't find the right players, So I think what's going to be interesting for him is, like you said, what does that look like? What is he at this level? Best case, you know what I mean? We often sit up here and we fall in love with what role players can be, what that next level or that next step is. And I don't want people that are watching this show to think that Karlo's like this superstar. I don't want to fall in love with the thought of him even being considered a stretch 5 or him being a long-term lob threat. I don't want to be any of that. What is he going to be as a basketball player? And you got to think, right? For guys, not just guys like him, the transition, Lito, like all right, right? When you go and play pickup,
yeah,
every game is different. Sometimes you playing with people that's where it's a skill gap between how good you are and maybe how average they are, or maybe it's the other way around. So like that determines how many dribbles you get. That determines how quickly you got to move. That determines where your alignment is on the floor. This ain't, I can't compare what he did in summer league of what he did in preseason basketball or in the G League to this now, because they're not going to be, he's not in those positions. They're not asking him to do, he's not dribbling the ball. He's not taking 10 or 15 shots. He's not dribbling the ball multiple times. We're talking quick passes, like you said, quick looks at the rim, putbacks, rebounds, running the floor, shots. Can he, open shots?
Yeah.
What does that look like for him? Can he make the most and maximize that role? Can he be a really good player when being asked to do that and then build from there?
Yo, before we get started with this, I just want to say this. This show that we did was called "Will Karlo Matković Eventually Become the Center for the New Orleans Pelicans?" There's a comment here that I really just want to shout out to Terry Lee, 34, casual basketball fan here. The center complaints are overrated. I wish that this person would comment on this show because I'd like to know if they still feel the same way based on how bad the Pelicans were out rebounding and could not defend the rim at all this season. Like, do you still think they're overrated? And then they come back. I don't know, he, she, them. They make whatever your pronouns are. I respect. They say
he, she's crazy.
I'm just saying. They said at the end of the question is, what's the difference between our problems and OKC? A whole lot. A whole world, a galaxy of difference.
Wait, where you want to start? Where you want to start? They have two good quality options at the center position, technically, right? You know what I mean? One that's ultra talented and one that's worked his ass off and it has a prototypical center style frame. Like, so it's not, because now you see them struggling now with the ability to rebound and the ability to protect the rim. Karlo isn't that.
Right.
At least we don't think he is. But what he might be is someone who can put the ball in the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? For someone who shifts, who makes motherfuckers get back on defense, who gives Zion a runner, someone who can run the break with him, which we're gonna watch in some of this film as the show has went on too long, as it went on way longer than it was supposed to. But
no doubt.
Like that, like, bro, you got to be thinking, if you joining this team, if I was joining this team, Lito, I'm thinking, how can I make number one's job easier? How can I compliment him? Well, I know if I grab a rebound, pass the ball to him and get on the break, that's gonna work. That's gonna get money. I know if I knock down these corner threes, that's gonna get money. If I can set a good screen and give him some space that he never has, that's gonna open up. Just taking the creases and living off of his gravity, Trey's and whoever else.
I think and this is not this is a Karlo show, but I want to say this about Missi before we watch this. There doesn't have to be a Karlo or Yves. There doesn't have to be one or the other. They can both work together. It can be thunder and lightning. It can be whatever your comparison is, peanut butter jelly, like whatever it is. They can work together because they don't do the same things. On either side of the floor, they don't do the same things. Yeah. Like I think we talked about this. Yves has been he's more like a predator on defense. Yeah. While Karlo, it seems he provides some of the same weak side help, but he's a little bit more. He's a little bit more laid back in his approach. Yves is a wild man. He will jump at anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you pump fake that bitch, I'm going. Karlo's a little bit more measured. That's a good word. He's a little bit more measured. And I think on offense, again, two totally different things. They're both athletic. Yves is having trouble right now because he's not strong enough to finish these highlight reel dunk attempts that he's been putting up in these games. He had one yesterday where he had one on Biombo, but he's not strong enough right now to finish. Karlo, on the other hand, has a little bit more grown man strength about him at this point. And you've seen him put people on the rim. He had a two-hand, you know what I'm saying, the other day. And this is not a knock. I just think they can work simultaneously. But
let's see.
Because
look, as the film starts to play here, you gotta, if you're a center or you're a power forward on this team, you're gonna be playing. You're gonna have to master the ability to play in space, and playing in space in front of you. Because 9 times out of 10, especially with the work that's been put in. You can start the film, Lito.
Oh, my bad.
Especially with the work that's been put in, like teams aren't going to guard you.
Yeah, that look good.
Like, look at that. They're not going to guard you. So when you watch Yves go downhill in Euro, he gonna see a lot of that because dudes are people living at the rim because they got to deal with that with Zion. You know what I mean? They got to deal with that with Zion, like, or even trade to a perspective. Like that's what's gonna be like. They're not giving a damn about what Karlo's doing when Karlo catches the ball at the free throw line or is shooting a three here. Teams aren't caring. Or even when he catches the ball and he's, if he's diving or if he's driving to the rim. He ain't gonna wait for him to get there. What, you gonna take a runner? You gonna shoot a midi? Or you gonna shoot this three? You gonna have to show us.
I just want to say how textbook this motherfucker's jumper looks right here. This is a picture perfect jumper. This is the fluidity that I was talking about yesterday. When you think of a 6'11" basketball player, like he is good rhythm. The release point is high. It's not a delay. It's not much of a delay of the release. Got a hitch. I mean, that's nets.
Okay. Look at that space.
Yep.
Look at that.
And that's simple basketball, bro. That's attacking the glass. I'm just following the basketball. That's it.
Yeah.
You got to treat, and this is the last point, you got to treat young bigs like you do young NFL quarterbacks. Simplify the game plan for them. Make it easy. Don't make them think. That was beautiful.
I mean, and again, I mean, for him, it's easy when Zion's out there because Zion's taking up. Look at that, bro. The whole team is surrounding him, dog. So, in a lot of situations, all Karlo got to do is take the right angle, take the right approach, have the right patience, and he's gonna get as many wide open buckets as he's looking to get. But it's just a matter of not doing too much and not rushing the situation. That was beautiful. And as Trey continues to evolve, you got another guy that may be able to create his own level of gravity for you to play off of. And that's what good role players learn to do, bro. Like they eventually have to settle with the fact that they're not the person that's gravitational. They have to play within someone else's gravity. That ain't for everybody, dog. Everybody don't know how to do that.
That's a good point. This is a great layup. First of all, this right here to take the contact from Biz and then finish.
Biz, huh?
I had to call him Bismack.
Yeah.
Nah, man. He.
Okay.
It's Black History Month. He black.
Big Biz. I got it.
I didn't add any.
He had nothing. He ain't know what to do with Big Low.
This is a good pocket pass.
You know we got 2 cars in New Orleans now?
Excuse me?
I said, we got 2 cars in New Orleans now?
What? No, what cars you talking about, my boy?
Derek Carr and Karlo.
All right. That was a bad shot, by the way.
All right. You ain't like it?
Nah.
All right.
Finish over Biz, getting the offensive rebound.
Look at this, dog. We've seen 8 to 10 points where he has to do nothing but just be available. Use your God-given strength.
That's all you gotta do.
Hey.
There's nothing else that he has to do. I'm not asking him to do anything else. Like, run the floor, bro. Be available, be present. Take your opportunities when when they're there, when you have them. Like, I'm not asking him to create for himself at any point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not asking him to create for anybody else. Like, if he could pass out of a double team, but he never gonna see a double team.
He never gonna see a double team. And you look at, like, I hate to have to to keep bringing up like Jackson Hayes, right? But even if you want to look at other role playing centers that just didn't work out in New Orleans the way you wanted them to in the past, like Hilton Armstrong, for example. And I'm talking about guys that were drafted in New Orleans. Like, it's just a matter of like, look who you're playing with. In Hilton's case, you're playing with Chris Paul. You're watching what he's doing for Tyson Chandler. You got the perfect opportunity and the perfect player for what your position calls for.
Mm-hmm.
Just a matter of taking advantage of. You look at Jackson, right? Falling into the trap of having feeling the pressure of him having to do too much, or feeling like he had to be too much. He didn't know at one particular point he was worried about doing things he wasn't good at, like setting screens to get into the rim, trying to dunk every single thing he could. And then the next time, or the next year, we're watching him feeling like he having to be a stretch 4 or a stretch 5 and shoot multiple threes a game. He couldn't figure out what was going to work best for him. And maybe part of that was because I don't know how many games he played with Zion. I know he missed a full season of them. Close to 2. But, dog, Karlo, you got the perfect opportunity of just falling into a role, dog. The game, you ain't got to be bigger than the game.
Yeah.
You ain't got to be bigger than the game.
You know, unfortunately, though, a lot of that is not on him, too, because, yep. I mean, yeah, man. That's facts. Shout out to Keith. I think that's facts, man. And like, you know, like I said yesterday, be able to put the same. This is not. This is the point of this is not shit on the organization. But if you could develop 2 players at one time. Like, you don't have to pick and choose. You could develop all of them. Reeves, Karlo, Missi. You don't have to put all your quote unquote developmental currency in one player. And everybody brings something different to the game. So to harken back to OKC and their problems, like how you think OKC got here. Obviously, Hardenstein was a free agent acquisition, and Chet is who he is, but you got J-Dub, you got Jalen Williams, you got all these players that played meaningful minutes and got a chance to develop at the same time, you know, while along with playing with Shea.
But what you just said at the end there.
Playing with Shea?
They get to play off of his gravity.
Yeah.
They get to figure out, and they are fine with playing off of his gravity or his aura.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, you got to have people, even Wiggins, coming off the bench there or starting a few games. There's so many dudes in OKC, bro, that are saying, I am going to change the life for my family by simply playing off of this dude. And that's what we living with. And that's what we dying with. I'm building my game is predicated. It's not predicated on what I can do when he's not out there. It's predicated on, can I make passes? Can I make shots off of him? Can I take advantage off of the attention that he gets consistently?
Yep.
Same for the rest of these dudes when it comes to playing with Zion Williamson. How are you going to play off of the best things that he can provide game in and game out? And if he's out there and you're able to do that, you should be, if you're a dude with Karlo's God-given talents. I ain't saying he fucking Sean Kemp, but I'd say he has above average to maybe even good athleticism for his size. You should be able to take advantage of that, especially playing with a dude like Zion and Trey Murphy and Ajante and CJ, so on and so forth. Same for Missi.
Yeah, man. Ain't too much more. You got anything else?
Damn, I feel like I did, but I think we covered it for the most part, bro. And it like Karlo ain't left us with a whole bunch of shit to review necessarily. You know what I'm saying? What was I about? I think I had a question for you. Like, what? I guess as we're closing out, what do you think is the most important thing for Karlo to become a rotational player, a consistent rotational player, a staple of sorts?
What do I think he needs to do?
What's going to be most important for him?
Well, playing under Willie Green, you know, defense is like key. So he gonna have to lock in defensively, and not necessarily on his man, because like to be honest, it's like 4 centers in the NBA. You got to guard, but he got to be able to guard the actions, and I think he has good enough feet to where he can play outside in or ping to great if you want to put a title on it. So that would probably be one. And for real, if he could make that corner three consistently, shit, man. I mean, I'm not asking a lot. Maybe 2 a game. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe.
That's a lot of threes for a center, but I'm with you.
2 a game?
That's a lot.
The way this shit going in the NBA right now, like
I mean, I'm just saying, like Kelly Olynyk is a baby unicorn, right? And he ain't never made 2 threes a game.
I'm not asking him to make 3, just shoot 2.
Oh, shoot 2. I get you.
Yeah. He don't have to make 2. Just shoot. Because you got to keep him honest. Like you were saying, somebody got to respect you.
They not gonna respect him. No, that's the thing. So I mean, like, dog, he just can't. I mean, bro, again, like, he got to be comfortable with the fact that nobody gonna give a fuck about him being out there.
That's crazy.
No matter what, Karlo can shoot 40% from 3, and nobody's gonna give a fuck. We just talked about it on the last show about the amount of attention from double teams to just to manpower that Zion consistently gets every time he's on the floor. So I mean, I watch teams sell out and leave JJ Redick open because Zion is driving. Like like that's the game. But can you embrace that and enjoy these practice shots and make them? And on top of that, like don't get caught like with your head in the clouds, dog. Jackson got caught with his head in the clouds too often, like standing in space, just standing around on offense and on defense. If he's able to stay active and making the right play and mentally shit starts to click, I mean, again, bro, it's just an asset that this team could use more of when it comes to athleticism and just flexibility at that position. So hopefully it's something they can continue to build on the rest of this year, man, because we gonna talk about it.
For sure, absolutely. That's what we do. Hey, before we get out of here, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
How dirty do you think Diana was? Like, you think she was a smut legend, or you think she was just kind of like, and Mike was scared? He was scared of the people.
Man, I just think she was ruthless, dog. You know what I'm saying? She just ain't get no fuck. Like, I mean, she sounded like, an around the way girl, project chick, somebody who's just gonna take care of herself and didn't really care who feelings she hurt in the process. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, fuck, if you don't care about fucking over Michael Jackson.
Hey, Michael's hurt too. That thing must have been fantastic. Mike was hurt. Mike got a line.
It was special.
It was
sparks, glitter, fireworks, all
a unicorn.
Out. Good way to bring that full circle.
Yeah. It was a unicorn. Shout out
to all my unicorns out there.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Dirty Diana, man. Get you a Dirty Diana in your life, man. But for Chris, no. I'm saying you gotta have some sort of.
You gonna marry a Dirty Diana?
That's all on you.
Like, have her in a rotation.
This is the thing. That's all on you. This is the thing. Cause sometimes I seen where brothers can't let it go. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you listen. Hey, bro, you know what? Since we here, hey, bro, if you got a Dirty Diana, don't be ashamed, bro. You love her, hold her hand in public. It's okay.
Look, dog. Some people in the thrill seeking a lot more than I am, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you gotta be a strong brother.
Bro, I was watching. Me and my girl was watching the Luther Vandross doc, and it was it's a section of it in which they talking about Dionne Warwick. Now I've seen and I've heard her music before, but I really ain't pay attention like that to like how she like said, son. Miss Warwick, was pressure.
Yeah.
But she got a look on her face that tell you she was trouble. and I don't give a fuck how good it was. Stay the fuck away from me. I told Chris, I said, that's trouble right there. I wouldn't want no parts of it. Wouldn't want no parts of it. And she Whitney Houston cousin?
Yeah. That's
I'm good.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Diana was pushing P. She was pushing
trouble,
P.
Dog. Trouble.
Shout out to Luther, man.
One night though, probably.
I mean, listen, if you're going, listen. A dirty Diana, a dirty Dion. You listen, man. You gotta take your shots if you can get them. But the thing is, like Mike said, man. Like Mike said, you gotta know when to cut it loose, bro.
Dog. And to be fair, she 84. She still never mind. Go ahead.
Wow, wow. Osteoporosis?
The elderly need love too, dog.
Wow. That's what we going with this show? Okay. Before we get canceled, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end the show. So for Chris, for me, hey dog, hold on. Mike said she probably worried about tonight. I didn't call on the phone to say that I'm all right. Diana walked up to me. She said, I'm all yours tonight. I'll be the freak you can tell. What Mike? Come on, man. Hey, man. She taught Mike how to moonwalk. That's all I'm gonna say. He walked on that moon, all right. All right.
You know what? What Boss Man D-Lo say? My wrist move like Mike Jack. Yeah, I'm like that.
Big Za. Peace out.